Wrexham may not be the best team in the National League. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Season 2, Episodes 2 and 3 of Welcome to Wrexham. Episode 2 kicks off with the focus away from the football. Paul Mullin introduces his son Albi, who's been diagnosed with autism. Mullin says that football is second to being a father. Raising his son isn't easy, but moving closer to home has helped. We meet Millie, a local Wrexham fan who also has autism. Millie used to play for Wrexham's youth team but got released the year before COVID. Millie's mom says it's tough because after 17 years of raising Millie, she's never once said I love you to her parents, and the lack of feedback makes them feel like they're failing. Now Millie has a season ticket and sits in the quiet zone at the stadium with her ear defenders. The routine and consistency, seeing the same stewards, the same people, has really helped her. Millie's making a goodie bag for Albi with some of the things she likes in the hope that Albi will like them as well. Usually they focus on the crowd and atmosphere at the racecourse ground, but this match is shown from Millie's perspective. Before the match, Millie meets up with Paul Mullin and gives him the gift and artwork for him and Albi. Mullin asks Millie how the game is going to go, to which she replies, "We're going to win 5-0. The sound-reduced goal montage plays out, and sure enough, Wrexham win 5-0 with Paul Mullin scoring a hat-trick. Season 2, Episode 3. We meet more of the local fans and some Deadpool impersonators. 11 games into the season so far, and this year there's been loads of interest in the club because of the documentary. Most of the sentiment in Britain has been positive, unless you're a fan of a rival club. Then of course you're wildly jealous and upset, and hate Wrexham as a result of the takeover. Commentator Mark Griffiths shares his background, how he started off calling games for Hospital Radio, and has worked for the club for many years at this point. This was really interesting to me because it shows how broadcast jobs have evolved. Griffiths tells us how there's so much beauty in Wrexham, but it's taken outside investment for the locals to see that once again. Humphrey takes us through a montage where Wrexham are scoring for fun. 7 wins in a row sends them top of the table. After that, Humphrey tells us he wishes Notts would fall down a manhole. Back to the stadium, manager Phil Parkinson leads the team through a film session ahead of the match against Notts County. This sets the stage to let everyone know that it's going to be a battle between Wrexham and Notts County for promotion out of the National League and into the Football League. At the recording studio, the Declan Swans are writing a song for Super Paul Mullin based on his chant. Locals love Mullin because he's working class and always makes time for the fans. The band talks about their newfound fame since the documentary and the hit song It's Always Sunny in Wrexham. They're getting bigger gigs and paychecks, which is a welcome change. Away day time, Wayne Jones mentions how Wrexham are taking 5,000 fans to some matches. 2,000 make the midweek trip to Meadow Lane, where Notts County host Wrexham. Until now, you may be under the impression that Paul Mullin is the greatest non-league footballer of all time. But Notts have Macaulay Langstaff, who's an absolute goal machine and already has 14 goals to Mullin's 9. Mullin offers more in the build-up, where Langstaff plays between the posts and only focuses on goals. It's important to note that the show's timeline is non-linear. We were up to Boxing Day in episode 2, and now rewind to October 4th for Notts County versus Wrexham. And who else opens the scoring but Macaulay Langstaff? Wrexham fans are unhappy heading into halftime, and so are the players. In the dressing room, Ben Tozer lays into Mullin for shooting rather than picking out one of 3 teammates in the box. Mullin says he didn't see the pass, but Tozer is furious. Parkinson steps in and calms the lads down ahead of the second half. Wrexham get one back, but it's offside. The match ends 1-0, sending Notts County top of the table. Griffith says it's typical how Wrexham are having the most remarkable, record-breaking season, but so is someone else at the same time. Humphrey mentions the target on Wrexham's back and how all the other teams are playing up to the level of Wrexham in an effort to slay the Giants. Ryan Reynolds was chatting with Mullin about his son in episode 2, and this is the first we hear from Rob McElhenney in these 2 episodes. Rob discusses the tribalism of fandom within sports. We see a snippet from Stunt Peg's video, The Truth About Wrexham AFC. She makes a great point. Just because she'd like to see new ownership and a cash injection at her club doesn't mean she has to be jealous and hate Wrexham simply because of their good fortunes. The dynamism of Rob and Ryan's relationship is displayed again. Rob is telling fans to F off if they don't like it, and Ryan asks, I don't know how you can't root for Wrexham. Fans from other clubs weigh in how this takeover is a good thing for Wrexham, and every club at this level needs some sort of advantage. These fans wish Wrexham well, but hope for takeovers at their own clubs. Mullin makes it out to the recording studio to hear the new track from the Declan Swans as the episode winds down.